Oh, hey guys. Okay, thank God my screen recorder app did not freeze or something. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, well, I mentioned in my last video about, Fnaf being hated on, well, mostly Security Breach, due to the story being weak or something like that, a lot of bugs, and that it's not even scary, and that it's a game. I don't hate it. I mean, it's been so long since it wasn't even out yet, and it finally was during December last year. And you people just hate it because it has a lot of bugs and that the story is not good. I'm okay with the game as it is. And nobody cares about the bugs because certain YouTubers who we know haven't actually noticed the bugs before. They didn't, even if it was the early release of the game. I feel like people are just losing their minds. And I just need to vent for a little bit. And by I mean vent, I don't mean the freaking Among Us thing. I seriously hate that game. For many, many reasons. But I have a little bit of an allergy, which sucks because I really want to make this video and I want to make this without my voice being messed up. But I'm just gonna do it anyways because karma is a bitch. So I'm gonna discuss the Fnaf timeline, about the timeline of the game, the story, and I'm also going to involve the hidden lore, my character's timeline version of the story, and some other points like fan-made games or other stuff. And just for the record, if you don't know me, then you might not know that I am not part of any community towards something that I love or even hate, like hell. I mean, I don't know what's with the big deal with people just going onto platforms ranting about communities being total whack when I'm not a part of those communities. As if. I have no fucking idea. It's just a big pile of shit. But anyways, I decided to discuss the Fnaf timeline. So, I also want to point out some things that Crying Child and Cassidy both possess Golden Freddy. It's possible. Crying Child also possesses some, Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie, which I thought was pretty impressive. And he wasn't even a vengeful spirit. He wasn't even the first victim of Purple Guy himself. He was William Afton's child, and he died from his stupid brother pulling a prank on him. He wasn't even a victim of his own father. And even though Cassidy wasn't the first victim or the first victim of the missing children, she was the most vengeful out of everyone. Every single victim that William has killed. And for good reason. Or maybe not. But whatever. And she does have an appearance, and even though people do not know the origins of Golden Freddy, I don't care, because why do people have to talk about it? I don't know what's with people just digging into the stuff of shit. Sorry. But like I said, I'm going to discuss the Fnaf timeline. I'm also going to point out some things from FNAF fan games, even if they're not part of the FNAF fanverse or not even that popular in my opinion. So here we go. So FNAF 4 took place in 1983, the prequel to the entire story. And the part where William lost his mind due to his son's death due to Michael, William's oldest child and crying child's older brother, pulling a prank on him. And not very nice one to be in fact. But people speculated that that Henry Emily and William Afton opened Fazbear's Pizza or Fazbear's Family Diner, no, Fredbear's Family Diner, in the late 1970s. And I can pretty much confirm that it might be true. I mean, now that I was thinking about it, I watched the Freddy Files, and the chapter 1 literally has the note having the date when the note was written on 1983, and they opened Fredbear's Family Diner like 5 years ago. So that would pretty much take place around 1978 to 1983, keeping that timeline solid. Even though I haven't found any recent evidence that Fredbear's Family Diner opened in the late 70s, it's possible. I originally thought it didn't open in the late 70s, but it did. And now that I'm thinking about it, the same time in the Hidden Lore story where Peter met Fred and was been there for like a few months, I guess, I feel like they didn't actually open Fredbear's Family Diner during that same year, 1983. And in Juniors, FNAF Juniors, the closure of Juniors was in 1982, but at the same time, I don't think it's canon to the FNAF lore. Juniors was FNAF 2, but in my opinion, no. And, okay, this is going to be long and difficult to say. However, the missing children's incident took place in 1985, so 2 years after the Bite of 83 incident. I'm only going to focus on the FNAF 4 to FNAF 3, the original quad trilogy about the game story, more grounded in reality because duh. So FNAF 2 takes place in 1987, but before that, the FNAF 1 location was still a must. And Foxy bit a little girl, a customer, in the frontal lobe. During that time, it was on October 13th, 1987, and FNAF 2 during Jeremy's paycheck takes place on November. The FNAF 2 animatronics, the toy animatronics, were built to replace the animatronics that were deemed too scary for younger children. The original animatronics of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. FNAF 1 takes place in 1993, And Purple Guy's Death, I'm pretty much can confirm that it takes place in 1995. I'm also going to put the dates in the description, just in case. And I'm also going to bring out my character's timeline of the story. And some other points, since I don't know how to make this video, that I haven't. I can barely speak. I'm getting tired of people just hating on FNAF for no reason, including FNAF Security Breach, or saying that the FNAF movie is finally going to come out. I don't care. Okay? I don't want to see that movie. If they're not going to actually release it, then that's it. You're done. You're done. We are done. Sorry. I'm also going to point out that Peter Rotaker, the original name for William Afton, or Purple Guy during the FNAF Hidden Lore series, in my opinion, would be canon because it involves the Dark Timeline, which makes more sense. I do not know how people do this. And I'm not including FNAF AR as one of the points of the story in the high-tech timeline, because realistically it's just an app made by another company that probably is not involved with Scott Coffin, and they abandoned FNAF AR entirely. Besides, I didn't really like FNAF AR that much. No, thank you. And to be honest, why do people even care about hating or putting into drama about things that happen involving Five Nights at Freddy's? Shut your mouth. Like King Thief. Whoever that rat's name is. 10 Top Gaming. Or even MadPat for that matter. None of that makes sense. Okay, I was a child born in the early 2000s, 2003 by that matter. And I love FNAF ever since FNAF 2. And I know about the story. I watched the Hidden Lore series. I've seen theories, not including the ones I just mentioned. And I love stories that actually make sense or feel poetic. But to make it short of my character's timeline, her timeline takes place in FNAF in her timeline takes place in the late 1920s to the 1960s. Yeah. 5 years in Fredbear's family diner, 2 years after the incident, and then the 5 missing children, 2 years after that, and then FNAF 1, the Bite of 87, and FNAF 2. 6 years after FNAF 2 to the actual FNAF 1 story. 2 years after that, and during Purple Guy's death. And I'm just gonna say that FNAF 3 doesn't take place in 2023, because that would be literally impossible. So I'm pretty sure it would take place in 2013, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry if this video is a bit rushed. I have allergies and I cannot focus. It's hell. but I hope you enjoyed this video.